Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'm doing another video. Now today I'm doing something I haven't done for quite a while. It's something that I'm going to have to get used to again, but I'm back doing interviews. So as some of you may know, I did interviews around a year ago for about a year, and then I stopped to do some videos on the next step, and now I am back doing some interviews again. So today's guest is very special. They've recently appeared on the hit TV show Traitors, which is on BBC iPlayer if you want to go and check that out. But today's guest was murdered, and they are Aisha. So please welcome Aisha to my YouTube channel.
Hi, I'm Aisha and I'm from the Traitors.
Thank you so much for joining me. So, as you know, today I'm going to be asking you some questions about your time and journey on the Traitors. So, what were you feeling at that time when you first arrived and when you first saw your fellow contestants?
I was so nervous and so scared. I was like, because obviously I've never done anything like this before. And I think straight away when you go in, you are kind of thinking like, oh my God, this is such a nice, amazing experience. I'm so excited to be doing this. But also thinking like soon these people are basically like could be my enemies and I'm going to be like competing against these people. So it's just, you're just going for a lot's going through your mind. It's very hard and intense. But like I was just so excited to be there, and because we were in hiding for like, I think I was one of the first people to get there to like the accommodations that we were staying in. I was in hiding for like 3 days before we started filming because of like COVID and all that, being safe and so having to isolate and make sure that you weren't positive and all those kinds of things. So yeah, like after 3 days of being in a room on your own, like so bored, I was just excited to be around people and just to be able to talk. And then obviously when you get to the train platform and there wasn't that many of us, I was thinking, what's going on here? Like there's only like, I think there was like 6 or 7 of us on the train platform, and I was like, this doesn't seem quite right. Like, and we were all trying to guess, like, well, how many of us is there going to be? Do we think we're going to go pick people up from another train platform? And then obviously the train comes, and we do, and we were like, oh, and then you kind of just like counting everyone and kind of trying to suss in, like, eye everyone up already, but like you don't know what you're going off. You're literally just clutching at straws.
Yeah, it sounds like a really interesting way to start the show. I kind of got like with that bit, I kind of got like the I'm a Celebrity vibe, you know, when they all kind of like meet in different places. But when you first got there, was there like a certain person who you kind of went with? Was there somebody who you initially thought, oh yeah, we're definitely going to get along in this process?
I think when I first got there, I was attracted to Aaron when I first got there. I thought he was really good looking. But then other than that, like when I got on the train, obviously I was sat with Theo and Claire and Imran, but me, Theo and Claire were the only northerners. Everybody else was from like down south. So I think that kind of bonded us together a little bit more than everyone else. And yeah, like there was just everyone from down south and they were all like proper and spoke a bit posh, and we were just like proper northerners. So I think we just kind of gelled together because of that. And I think easily though, if we'd been sat with different people on the train, then friendships would have been altered. I think who you end up with on the train on the train station really affects who you're like, the friendships and the bonds that you make as the show goes on.
Yeah, well, it's good that obviously that you bonded with people straight away, and like you said, that northern link kind of linked you guys together. And like talking of Aaron, obviously when you left, he was sad, and he kind of said that he kind of felt some things. So has anything clicked whilst you've left, if you don't mind asking?
No, we're friends. We're really good friends, and we get along very well. But there's nothing going on there between us. He's like my annoying little brother.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to clear that up. But yeah, thank you for sharing.
Exclusive statement right here.
Yes, yeah. We will not hold it against you anymore. So, so when you went in and when you went on the train, you obviously got close with some people. However, was there somebody from the start who you kind of got a vibe that was going to be a traitor? Obviously, once you got there and they were picked.
Early on, I did think Imran was a traitor. I would have bet like my car on it that he was a traitor. I just thought like his demeanour and everything. I thought this guy's got to be a traitor 100%. But like he's so smart. He's been like homeschooled most of his life. So I think like some of his social interactions like are just a bit different to what like say like maybe me and you would do, because obviously he's not used to say maybe like being in big groups of people all the time, stuff like that. And also he is used to always being probably the, if not one of the smartest people in the room. So he probably thought he just had us all sussed already. And we were just like, no, you don't. And then I remember like when we all go in and like speak to Claudia, and she's saying like, what would this money mean to us and blah, blah, blah. That she says that, is there anyone you're a bit onto already? And I didn't say I was on to anybody, but I said like Alex. I was like, there's something about Alex. I feel like she's not being 100% truthful about something. She's hiding something, or something that she has said isn't true. And then when I found out that her and Tom were actually a couple, I was like, I knew it. I was on to her. I knew there was something that she wasn't being 100% truthful with. Because I think very early on, watching it back now, you can see how hard it was for them to obviously, because we were very close, like me, Matt, Tom, Alex, Aaron, like we would be in a group together quite a lot and like just be chatting and messing around and stuff like that. So to think that his girlfriend was actually there and he'd be like sat on the other side of the room and Matt was just sat there going like, turning to him and I'm being like, oh, Alex is well fit. Like it must have been so hard for him, and she must have just been thinking like, oh my God, Tom, like, I'm so sorry. So it must have been a really awkward and hard situation for them. So I feel like, from quite early on, there was something that I was picking up with, that she maybe just wasn't 100% being herself.
Yeah, well, obviously Tom and Alex's, I don't really know, like, announcement was a massive shock to everybody. They played it so well, and it's good that you kind of sussed it out from the start. Like that shows that you would have been amazing if you'd carried on. So on the first day, you obviously did your first challenge. It was quite a iconic one of my favourites throughout the whole series. So what was it like taking part in that one?
Oh my God, it was so insane. I remember when like we pulled up in the Landies and I was thinking like, this is like we are at Burning Man, like what is going on like with these wicker statues, and obviously we didn't know what we had to do, and I was like, we're by a lake, we're gonna have to like swim, like what's going on and stuff like that. And then obviously we get there and they go through of what the mission is, and I was like thinking, oh my God, like if I make it to day 2, which I didn't, but I was like, if I make it to day 2, I hope the challenges are a little bit less, maybe physical, maybe a bit more mind stuff, because obviously it was so like, it was freezing cold. It had been like chucking it down with rain, so the course had been destroyed. So like on the way there we had to stop for ages because the course had been destroyed, and it was just like chucking it down with rain, and they obviously had to dry everything, tie new ropes. I think it was new ropes that they had to tie because obviously they couldn't be dunked and then lit. So then when we got there, it was still really cold, it was still really rainy, so like being like dipping your hands in like oil and then fiddling to it, it was just horrible. Like I remember I was like absolutely freezing, and I was like, this is just a nightmare. And obviously it's like the first day we've all met each other, and then we've got to do such a like kind of teamwork challenge. It's really hard, and at the same time you also kind of always are watching your back, because you're thinking like, am I on a team with traitors? Are they judging me on how well I perform and stuff like that? So it's just, you don't, even in the missions when it's like you're working together, you still kind of don't get a break, because you're constantly on watch for who teams up with who, whether that says something and all those kind of things. Yeah,
well, it sounds like the challenges were arguably some of the hardest parts of your experience, because they are intense. Like, as a viewer watching them, they seem intense. So I can't even imagine what it must have been like for you guys. Now, on TikTok, I've seen a lot of TikToks about how Claudia gets really involved in the challenges. So is that true?
Yeah, she's just in the whole thing, she's definitely very involved. Like, she just really cares about us. Obviously, there's like an amazing welfare team and everything like that. But like, if you were just like having a bit of like a hard day or anything like that, do you know what I mean? Like, she was there and she would just talk to you, and she would always have like a bit of banter with us and those kind of things. I remember like early on when we first get to the castle and going in, she was like talking about my dress, and she was like, oh my God, I love your dress, it's so nice, where's it from? And we were just like chatting about those kind of things. So yeah, she's very just like involved in general. I think she was so invested in the game, just the whole premises of the show. Like, she just wanted to be a part of it in every way possible that she could. And I think obviously she saw everything that went on. She saw people get murdered and banished, who probably murdered who she didn't agree with, and banishing, obviously she knew they weren't the traitors. So she was like, come on guys, like you need to catch up. And I think she just like, yeah, she really made bonds with people as well.
It's amazing. I always love it when like the hosts get really involved in it, because in a way I kind of got like a friendship vibe from like the contestants and Claudia as well. Now, going back to the castle, obviously it's a magnificent building. Like on the shots we got of it, seeing it as a viewer, it looked amazing. So what was it like arriving there for the first time? And is it as big as it seems on TV?
It's bigger. It's bigger. Like it's so much bigger in person. I remember, so like when you get there, there's like a massive road, like a massive path that you go down. And I remember going down it and thinking, oh my God, we're going to be here soon. We're going to be here soon. And it just keeps going and going and going, and it doesn't end at all. And I was like, oh my God, like, and there was like cows and everything there. And you seen Gary the peacock and everything. And it went on for miles, I swear, it never ended. And then we got there and it was just literally huge, and it had like so many rooms. Obviously there was like the downstairs. I think there was quite a few levels. We didn't obviously explore the whole castle because there was other things going on in other rooms. But yeah, it's absolutely huge. Like, I feel like if you ever got to go and visit it, you would be really shocked at how big it is.
Yeah, it seems so good, and I kind of hope they like open up to the public, because obviously now it's like an iconic tourist attraction. It'll be good if they opened it up. But yeah, it looked amazing. Now, the next question is a bit depressing, but it has to be asked. What was it like being the first person murdered?
It was hard and it was rough. I think it was hard and rough because you're just making them friendships, you're just making them bonds, and you don't want to go. I think at one point it gets to, I think early on, and probably like to get to the middle, it's like not about winning the money. You just kind of want to stay in it because you've made these amazing friendships, you've met these amazing people, and you just want to stay with these people. Obviously, as you get further towards the end and you think, I'm in with a chance of winning this money, it gets more intense. But at the beginning, when there's 20 of you, like, you odds are literally 1 in 20, 1 in 22. Do you know what I mean? So you're not as like, oh, I've lost out on the opportunity of this money. It's just I've lost out on the chance of being around these people. And you're just gone. Once you banish, you're murdered, you're gone. You don't get to say bye to anyone. It's nothing. So it is really sad in that sense. But then I also think it was a shock because I genuinely didn't think I was going to be the first person to be murdered. I remember that night at the cocktail party that we all had, and like I remember Maddie was literally like stressing, like, it's going to be me, it's going to be me. John was like, it's going to be me. There was a couple of people who were just literally really, really stressing, saying it's going to be them. I was just like, I didn't say, oh, I don't think it's going to be me, but I just thought, oh, it'll be fine. Like, I thought I was coming down for breakfast in the morning. Then when I didn't, I was like, oh, it was me. So I think it's just that shock. And then I think obviously me going first really did put like the nail in the coffin for a lot of other people, that it's like, it could be anyone could go at any time. Don't think it won't be you, because obviously I think probably a lot of other people thought the same, that I wouldn't be the first person to go. Yeah,
I bet it was a shock. And what I was kind of thinking, I guess it must kind of not feel good, but feel interesting in a way, because if they got rid of you first, surely that means that they think you're the biggest threat. So it could be seen as a compliment.
Yeah, that's how I saw it too.
Good. Well, that's the right mindset to have. So once you were murdered, did the producers like tell you who the traitors were?
No, you don't get told who the traitors. You literally like get put in a car and you go and you leave, and then you get put on like a plane or a train back home and you just go, and that was it. And then you're just waiting for the next person to find out who the next person. So I like found everyone on, this is why I got murdered first. I found like everyone on social media and like made a big group chat of us all on Instagram. So that as everyone came out and got the phones, they could like, you know, go into the chat. So like we all had communication with each other from like day dot. So then when that went on, we were like, obviously everyone was kind of all chatting, and then obviously when we found out that Alyssa had come out, and then she was like, I was a traitor, and we were like, no. So then it was kind of like as each person came out and got banished. So when Amanda got banished and came out, and she was like, I was a traitor, and we were like, no. And obviously Will at the end, that's kind of like how we found out who they all were, but then we didn't know who'd won until we watched the final live, because they weren't allowed to tell us, and obviously we were kind of just all like, at that point, like, we know it's like somebody's won out of you three, so we don't really care who, and we'll just like find out when it happens. It's nice to watch like live with the general public to see like who won.
Yeah, a nice surprise to kind of end the process with. And it's good that you kind of all kept in touch and let each other know what was going on. So talking of like staying in touch, are there any people you stayed like in touch with after the show?
I mean, we have a big group chat, which all 22 of us are in. So that can get a bit crazy sometimes. So we all do keep in touch. But on the regular, like I speak to like Theo, Claire, and probably John. Like I speak to Theo and Claire like every day, and I speak to John like once a week. But then the rest of us, like, sorry, excuse me, we do kind of like if anything's going on, or like say if anyone's coming up to Manchester, then we'll be like, oh, well, this person's coming up to Manchester, so if anyone's available this weekend, do we all want to do something? Like, we all went to Centre Parks in September together. I think like 18 of us went there, and that was really fun. And then we all had like a get-together for the show coming out, and all of us were there, like for Alex and Tom, because they were in Miami. She was doing a poker thing. So we were all together then. So, yeah. I think it's one of those things where with season 1 of the show, it's obviously never been done before, and it's like a completely new experience. Nobody else will understand how we feel other than each other. So it's a bond that we'll always have forever.
Oh, it's so lovely to hear that you've all stayed in touch. And I think I saw like a few TikToks of your like Centre Parks trip, and it looked really fun. But yeah, it's just lovely that you've all got on, to be honest, because, you know, sometimes you hear stories of how everybody's fallen out after, but it's lovely to hear that you've kind of all stayed so close.
Yeah, I think it's because it's a different kind of show. Like, it isn't like your Love Island or like Too Hot to Handle or anything like that. It's like a really intense, like, psychological game. So you need to get along to make the show easier when you're filming it, because if you aren't friendly with each other, then it's just going to be horrible. And I mean, obviously, I think like I don't think we'll all stay like as close as we are forever, because obviously life's life. Like, there's a lot of people in there who are older and have kids and stuff like that, and their careers are on completely different tracks to other people. So it's hard. But I think like when anybody's ever doing something, like everybody's always invited. The invitation's always extended to all of us. And yeah, I think I think we just picked a really, really good cast of just like a good bunch of like 22 really lovely people, or 21 other really lovely people, and that we all just by fluke all got along. Even like Andrea's somebody who like I would never think like I would have any reason to interact with. I think she's like 72. She's literally like my grandma, but she's like the most amazing woman ever. And Claire, she's like, I am the same age as one of Claire's sons. Do you know what I mean? She could literally be my mum, but she's like one of my best friends, and we get along so well. So it's just, yeah, it's really nice.
Oh, it's amazing to hear so many friendships have bonded, and I think it's lovely for the fans to kind of see as well. Now, to any interview, I just wanted to kind of give you the opportunity to tell me any memories or stories you want to share.
God, there's so many memories and stories. I think, like as I was saying, because it's such like a hard and intense environment and situation, and you have to find times to, you know, like make things fun and just like get along and all those kind of things. Like we'd just always be like singing and dancing and, you know, just playing stupid games and stuff like that, or all just literally being silly, just to make the time go quicker. Because obviously there was times when we'd be on ice, so it'd be like obviously we're still in the castle, and obviously it's kind of like we're still like under like game environment, but they might be changing all of our mics, or we might be on lunch or something like that, so you can't talk about the game, anything to do with the game, anything to do with tactics. So obviously you have to, and they don't really want you to talk about anything that's like you know, like about you. So they don't want me to say like, oh, I do this degree, blah blah, because obviously they want that on camera. They want to use that information for the series. So you have to try and find other things to talk about. So you just end up talking about the silliest things. And like, as you can see, like when Maddie's saying like, oh, I played a shed in like the school nativity in like the second to last episode or something like that. You just have to find silly, stupid things to talk about. And I think that's why the relationships you build are so strong, because of that. If it wasn't for them, I don't even know what you'd all talk about half the time. It'd be hard to make conversation.
Yeah, it sounds like it was an incredible experience, and it's kind of nice. Really it's good to hear what kind of happened in between filming, because I was wondering that. But it's good that you all kind of had the chance to talk and to have fun off camera as well.
Yeah, definitely. We did have like the opportunity, like, yeah, because obviously like the filming days were long, but Like, you're not, I'd say the filming day's long. You're there at the castle or doing a mission and the round table and all that for a long period of time. The day's long, but it's not like you're filming all the time. And when you're not filming, you're not allowed to talk about the show and the game. So you have to be like, yeah, you're on ice and stuff like that. So you've just got to be careful what you say, because like production will come and tell you off and be like, no, you're not allowed to talk about that. And then from that, you obviously like, yeah, you form them bonds because you have to talk about other things and stuff like that.
Yeah, it sounds like the show's process is definitely really interesting, and it's cool to hear kind of how it all worked together and was formed. But Aisha, it's been a pleasure talking to you. So thank you for giving me the time and coming and sharing everything you have.
No worries. Thank you so much for having me. I've had a great time.
You're most welcome. And also thank you to everybody who watched the interview. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon for another one. Bye, guys.